And now for something completely normal.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving to those in the United States. If you're not in the U.S., happy week of November. Happy Black Friday. Happy Black Friday. What is Black Friday going to be like? I worked retail many, many years, and there was the excitement of the build-up to Black Friday, and it was a very exciting time. This year, I don't know. Maybe excitement for Amazon. For a lot of other people, scary time, huh? Yeah, in Michigan, actually, I was grounded this week. They had called me Monday and told me not to fly and just stay home. We had a few computer issues, and yeah, so I stayed home. Yeah, this last week and this week I'll stay. Actually, I'm going to drive out and stay overnight at one place, taking the missus with. I got a real nice hotel one night, great price. So I've been wanting to stay here forever down in Toledo. I mean, and it's always been way too expensive, and it's just rock bottom prices. If you want to come with, get out of the house. So we're going to do that. Wear the mask, the whole thing. I do appreciate a lot of you in the comments have been sharing what's going on where you live. There's so many different people from around the world that watch this video and that will comment and chat, and I find it extremely interesting what's happening with you, what's going on in your country. I mean, this is about music, no doubt, but yet there is this personal connection, and I find it really interesting. In Michigan, they did shut down, your bowling alleys. Oh, darn it, they're on my bowling. And the theaters got shut down again. Well, they're open maybe 1 month. Public, bigger public gatherings. The big one was restaurants. You can no longer go inside. You can get carry out. And when I travel, that becomes a big deal because it's a real hassle just getting carry out and going back to your hotel room. So changes. My son and his bride, Eric and Kim, were supposed to come home for Thanksgiving. They called last Sunday and says we're not going to do it. And I get that. They're in Denver. They're going to fly here. I totally understand, and I did not expect them actually to be able to make it here and come home. Would have loved to have had them, but it'll just be me and my wife. We've been doing that for a while. Already got my recipes planned. Know what I'm making, so we're good. I had some VCLT come in this week. That was very exciting. And hey, dude. And so let me share that with you. And it came from Michael, Noted and Archive. That's the name of his channel. And it was actually some CDs I've really been wanting. They weren't available. This music wasn't available on vinyl. And it's from his group, Morya. Okay, are you ready to sit? He did give me, I'm wearing a t-shirt that he sent me. And it looks kind of like the spots of a cat, actually, but there's more to it than that. We'll show the t-shirt eventually when it comes. When this package arrived, I was listening to an album, and the album was called Clear Language from Morya. This was also in there. Isn't that weird? I'm listening to this, and then this comes in CD along with some other things. I was like, wow. I mentioned that to my wife. Go, that's weird, man. He sent what's playing in the background. Constellations from Morya. This one is, the vinyl. You can't get the vinyl, and I really wanted it. This one here I'm going to talk about later because it's in my stack to show you, one of these days. This is playing in the background, and I listened to it on my car ride. I had to run over to another area this week to help out. And there's real beauty to this. There's just this peacefulness. There's this restfulness. And yet there's certain songs, like what's playing right now, it's called Bow Spirit, where suddenly a banjo pops in along with the guitars and these violins and just adds these textures, and it just sounds just uplifting. There is steerage in the lamp that I just thought was an incredibly beautiful piano piece. With some more added in, but it made me smile. One of my favorites is Night Squall. It's kind of what you would expect. There's this quietness at the beginning, this guitar, and then it builds and it builds. I love music that does that, and the more instruments jump in and start playing. Really, really great piece. This here again, you can find it. It's still in CD version. If you see it used, definitely pick it up. Morya Constellations. Really enjoy that one. There is, and then there was a live set that I haven't listened to. Live at St. Elizabeth. Oh my God, where the hell were you at live, Michael? I don't know. There you go. You guys come up with your own pronunciation for the dang thing. Really looking forward to this thing. He sent me this shirt. This is from Austin. This is the record store that he would go to, Waterloo record store. Looks like Waterloo Station. Been there a few times. I thought Waterloo, Iowa. I used to work there. I spent 3 years of my life living in Waterloo, Iowa. Exciting place. Home of John Deere tractors. And there was a nice bag included. If you haven't, please look into Noted and Archived. He does these four corners with Mazzy and Michael, 45 RPM. Really interesting. You know, I did one with them, and yes, we went over 2 hours. It's really easy to go over 2 hours because it's fun conversation. Really interesting stuff. Steve, enjoy some CDs. Enjoy some CDs and a nice tea from my favorite record store in Texas. All the best to you and your family, Michael. And it comes on this. Really great. I'm super excited about this. You know, his albums were some of the few that I was able to save from the flood. You know, I lost the packaging, but I actually saved the albums. That's how much I like the music. It's so you know, it's Michael Mueller, and he plays guitar, and I can't think of the other person in his group plays piano, and it's more of an ambient, not ambient, neoclassical, shall we say. Gorgeous music. It's soothing, well worth listening to. So there we go. Okay, let's get into some music now. All right, first album up, Shocking Blue. This is not a rare album, though it's not the cheapest album in the world. It sold 13.5 million copies, so you know there is some Shocking Blue out there. The group was formed in '67, broke up in '74. This was the second incarnation of Shocking Blue, because on this album, which was the first, and really kind of like you could say their second album, it added in Mariska Perez. She was brought in as part of the group, and they'd asked her to channel her inner Grace Slick. So she put her style, her vocal style, to be similar to what Grace Slick is like. Now they are, this is a Dutch group, which is interesting. Interesting, not really. There's like a lot of great stuff from this off Colossus label. Really neat album. I really like this. I've seen it shown. It's been shown tons out there, but I'd never had it, and I was really happy to get a copy of this. And you know, it's a little worn here, but the vinyl was so nice and clean. And they did a total of 6 studio albums. It would be, I guess you could call it kind of psych pop, progressive psych pop, especially on this, but they had leanings to folk and Americana, you could say, before there was Americana, and country. I just, when you think of some of these, like California, Here I Come, to me had a very Americana type feel. Or there's the song Bull Weevil. They call it Bool Weevil, but it's Bull Weevil, which is a country song, country standard, kind of country blues. So they had a love for that kind of music. But then there's a song like The Butterfly and I, And I'm telling you, the second half, the horns come in, and they just, I mean, and they sound incredible. Of course, it had the big hit Venus on here, which was huge, but the other one was called Love Buzz that Nirvana covered. If you see, this is a very enjoyable album. It really is. This is super solid. Good for, sometimes you get some of these kind of psych blues or whatever. Some are good, some are bad, some of the songs. This thing was solid the whole way through. Really good. Glad I had it along with everyone else in the world. Excuse me, I gotta get this so I can put it up. Every time before I film this, I have to redo the furniture in here to get it set up. So it's just, it's tight, man. All right. All right, there we go. That's the transition you should never use. Flower Traveling Band. Name of the album is Satori. I picked this up when I was in Philadelphia, seeing Bill from Vinylverse. Bill picked this up, put it in my hands. That's how this story went. But he said, this is a really neat album, and you need to have it. And it's been shown on some channels. I believe I'd seen it. I watch a lot of channels, okay? I don't remember everything. The band started in '67. They broke up in '73. They formed in '07. They broke up in 2011. You know, one of these things. They're one of the musicians on here, Yuya Uchida, something like that. He in the mid '60s he went to England, and to me he met John Lennon. And Lennon introduced him to Cream and Hendrix, and it had a profound effect upon him. Because the music you find in here, there's kind of a little heavy metal feel to it, psychedelic, progressive type rock. It lends itself more to Indian and Oriental music. And there's definitely heavy sitar going on in here, but not just the crappy guru type sitar stuff. We're talking rockin', jammin', sitar, kind of whacked out. It has a really neat sound to it. So, Yusuriki Yuya, however the name is, he went back to Japan and they formed a group called Flowers, and it was a covers band. But he decided, you know what? It kind of, the band broke up. They reformed it again, and they called themselves Flower Traveling Band because he wanted it to be international. He wanted to be not just Japan, to be more, and so that's why he changed this name. And the first album that they did of original material was this one. It's called Satori. And it, you could see the influences. I mean, if that doesn't say, hey, there's going to be some Oriental Indian in here, I don't know what will say that. They did put out a total of 5 different albums. And what they did is they took guitar riffs. So they created some guitar riffs, and then they just did improvisation over it. There's not a lot of vocals. There is some screaming going on and some other things, but it really is about just these freak out guitars, heavy tom-toms. I mean, the tom-toms, I mean, they come crashing in, and distorted bass that's going on. Really fun, free-for-all type music. Totally enjoyed this. Really good stuff. Bill, thank you for adding and helping me spend more money. It was really nice. So I talked about Michael from Noted and Archived. In one of his videos, he showed this, and it's by Quebec, which I did not know nothing about him. And the album is called Soul Samba. Well, this Quebec, he was born in 2018 and died in 1963. This was the last album he did. He was a tenor sax player during the big band era. Actually, when he's growing up, he was a dancer and a pianist, but when he was in his 20s, he switched to tenor sax. So that's something, a lot of times you don't hear that, that late in life, switching over to tenor sax. This is on acoustic sounds. So it has, Michael was talking about, one of the albums that he really loved, that sounded really, really good. And this was it. So during the 40s, he played in big bands. Well, by the 50s, big bands were disappearing. And Ike wasn't getting a lot of work. He fell into heroin. 50s, jazz, heroin. Wow, oh, shocker, shocker. Well, in 59, he got in with Blue Note. And he began to have a resurgence. And this was his last album that came out in 63. It's samba, but samba with a heavy blues feel to it. It is elegant. It's romantic. It's warm. It's danceable in a slow dance, sensual kind of way. It's for late evenings. It's just where if you and the person you love on a couch with some wine, we'd probably have a glass of water, I don't know. But it's just that kind of relaxing album. Austin Powers would have this playing in his bachelor pad, no doubt about it. Really neat. Kenny Burrell plays guitar on here, and he is excellent. I really love the way his guitar sounded. You have Wendell Marshall on bass, Willie Bobo drums, Garvin Massax on shakare. What the hell? Okay, I do not know that instrument. Shakare? I don't know. Okay. Great stuff. Michael, I appreciate the, again, from a video. Once again, Bill puts that in my hands. Michael kind of put that in my hands. Next two to talk about, or if I can get them out here, a little Brian Eno. Let me take this one out of its sleeve. That would be helpful. We'll start with this. Brian Eno. What a guy, huh? Brian Eno. Self-described non-musician. That's how he calls himself. I am a non-musician. You think about him. He was a pioneer of ambient music. He was a glam rocker. Huge producer. I mean, man, the stuff he did. He's an artist, a multi, what would you call it? A multi, I can't think of the word I want now, but I mean, we're working in different facets of art, putting it all together, and he loved world beat. Well, both these albums, this is music, Ambient 1, music for airports, and we have music for films. Both of these came out in 1978. So you think in 78, right now he's working with the Talking Heads, and they're making Fear of Music, and he's introducing Talking Heads to world beat. That's on a nice little white label there. Nice inner sleeve. So this one here, so music for film. It's really quiet. It was made, so the whole idea, it was an instrumental electronic piece made for a non-existent film. That's basically what it is. So the film never happened, but we're just going to make something for that if there was this film. Trying to get comfortable, dude? Come on down. So it is just a number of different pieces. There's 9 different pieces on each side for that film. This one, Music for Airports, I do like a lot better. It came out in '78. That one there was an original. This is a repress. Um, Here it's this is really his first stab at ambient music, first stab at it, and it comes out really nice. This is it's nice. It's really nice and listenable. A little more going on than the one for films is really quiet, not a whole lot. This would be. You know, he wanted this to be musical art. He wanted this to be something that's played in the background while something else is going on. And it is. This is great, you know, background type music. Are you going to sit there and jam to it? Heck no. But it's just, it's a fun listen. So always enjoy a little Brian Eno. That was a nice pickup. Moving right along, there's a Horace Silver. This is the Tone Poet. We'll crack that for you. Okay. And, you know, his real name was Horace Ward Martin Tavares Silver. You know, as a kid, when you're in trouble, what happens? You get your middle name called. Mine's Paul. Stephen Paul. Stephen Paul. I mean, I was like, Stephen Paul. Oh, man. Can you imagine for poor Horace? Horace Ward Martin Tormoris Silver. Get your ass in here. You know, it takes a long time. Gives him time. You know, when you have a name that long and your mom's calling you pissed off, it gives you a little time just to think about, God, what kind of excuse am I going to come up with? This was a quintet. This quintet was with Art Farmer and Cliff Jordan, and they did not play with him very much, but they did on this one, along with Teddy Kotick on bass, Louis Hayes on drums. Nice album, really fun. There is some It's just a cool exploration. It's called, in fact, it's called Further Explorations by Horace Silver. And this, when did this thing come out? Oh, 1958 it came out. And there's some great stuff. Like, it starts with The Outlaw. That's just fast-paced, really good sounding. The trumpet, Farmer's trumpet, Jordan sax is great, but it has such a good sound to it. Then there's Melancholy Mood. It is more of a ballad, but kind of an upbeat ballad. I mean, it's a little more faster pace. Same with Ill Wind, which is a standard, again, more of a ballad, but I felt upbeat in that sense. And I like upbeat jazz. I really do like that. He was experimenting a little bit on this album. And it just you could feel it. The Outlaw, I talked about that. I mean, it's just funky. It has just a great feel, and his piano playing sounds super. Great pickup. Horace Silver, I've really learned to like him. First Pressing Goodness, Chris from First Pressing Goodness got me into Horace Silver with VCLT last year. It really was worth it. We have this one here. This is Battori, Legend of Funana, and Victor Tavares Battori, 1958, still going on. Interesting cat. He was born in 1938. In 1954, he left his islands, and the islands of Cape Verde. Remember Cape Verde? They dropped the ship that dropped down. We talked about last week. Found in the middle of the island, all the musical instruments. He didn't get any of them. In 54, he left to go to another island. It was part of Portugal, and these islands were owned by Portuguese. He went to some other place, and he worked, and he earned enough money after 3 years to buy an accordion. Yeah, the squeeze box. 3 years he worked to get that. It was a 2-month trip to get back home to Cape Verde. In that 2 months, he learned how to play that squeeze box. Well, finally, so now let's go all the way to 1997. He steps into a recording studio for the very first time to record. Think about that. He got that thing in 1957, came home, 1997 he steps in, and he began to play the music of Cape Verde, which is Funana. The Funana music, and I could be saying that wrong, of course I am, that is music for the poor. And it's said that it comes from a Portuguese term, a word for smoke, because when they would play that music, everyone would be dancing and the dust would rise up like smoke. Basically, the music, it centers around this accordion, the squeeze box, and a metal pipe where they take a knife and they bang it out as the rhythm. That's the basic principle behind it. It's fun. It's happy music. Really, this was just a great listen. I totally enjoyed this from Analog Africa. Great stuff. Final one, and just real quick, it's Pink Floyd. This is just kind of one of these kind of bootlegs coming out. It's demos from 1970 from Zabriskie Point. They have demos. And then there is music on here from iBody. So just some different stuff put together. An interesting time for them. Not a favorite time for a lot of folks, but I found a cool time of transition. That's it. That's the update. Thank you, everyone, for dropping by. I went long. Big surprise. Oh, well. Next week, I'm going to go short. I say it every week. Thank you, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving to those in the U.S. Everyone else, be safe. Wear that mask, right? Wear the damn mask. Bye.